must say the fondest memory that I have of Dr. Khumalo was probably the game that he played in 1996, the AFCON final. The telling pass that he made to Mark Williams still resonates very clearly in my mind. I think that was probably one of the highlights for me. And he's proven that he's probably one of the classiest players that we've ever produced. So that on its own just tells you about the caliber of the man. I think the only thing that I'm maybe disappointed, this is me just being biased, is the fact that Dr. Kumar did not play for Sundowns. What a gem he was. And I think, that on its own just gives an indication of a great player.
Yo, my memories of Dr. Khumalo. Dude, firstly, let's start off with 1996. I was 8 years old, and Bafana were playing in the AFCON. And two of my favorite players within that squad was Shuzmo and Dr. Khumalo. Doctor was a legendary player. The way he played, the way he moved in midfield. Kaizer Chiefs legend, has the most appearances than any other player in the team. What I loved most about him, the one match that I can remember was the match against Brazil when Bafana were leading 2-0 at halftime. I had to go to school the following day, so at halftime I went to bed, and unfortunately when I woke up, we had lost the match. But the way in which he played in that half, dude, like, he's one of the players that I hold very close to my heart. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, those are my memories about Dr. Kumar.
Voice ya Mtungwa se Mtungwa ka memory o pola Dr. Khumalo o mo pola ka 1996 e Bafana e raloka le Tunisia gore monula tshwara bogolo ba galane e re emella ka moka tlameta le ngwe re sa itsebeng e mogolo too much nka se mo le ba le monnowe ke ile a tshwara bola e tsia stadium Simon le Bartogo 16v ke tshwara bolewe a tsia a fa Mark Williams a kora ke batho ka moka ba ditimela sa Dr. Khumalo. Dr. Khumalo ba feel ko pola le tšele ngora ka Pirates le Chiefs ke Dr. Khumalo a tshwara e hata ke emelela ba re banna ka nwana monna wa emelela gore motho o tshwara bolo kwa tsekere na wa wanna levelana monno ba re ke Dr. Khumalo 16 million a tšere bore go bo putile a boitse go dimo a number 15 at metepe yae re mo le bo Dr. Khumalo nka se mo le ba le monno ba tswa bolo too much.
It's Tulani Ngobo here, well known as Ngobo 2010, the South African soccer fan. Wow, Dr. Khumalo, man, what a player, what a legend. He's the one who made me to fall in love with Kaizer Chiefs, and to fall in love with soccer as a whole. I remember I had to choose between him, Zaid Musa, and Tebogo Moloi. But then, the way he used to control the ball and the way he used to mesmerize those defenders made me to fall in love with Kaizer Chiefs. And until today, he's still the legend that I can say. He made football easy. He made me to support football, and I was happy, to see him back in 1996. When he intercepted that second ball, he gave it to Mike Williams. What a pass! And it made us South Africans, to come together and celebrate that 1996 win against Tunisia. What a legend.
Oh, La Chapelle was it. So with regards to the legendary Mr. 16V, the first thing that comes to mind is that number 15 jersey. Yeah, Bafana. That iconic championship winning jersey. Also, what comes to mind is the reason why I fell in love with Kaizer Chiefs. That jersey just sat so well on him. And then with regards to playing, look, I was very young when he was in his prime, but with having a bit of those retro games, those classic matches, one thing that always used to make me love this man was his ability to make an opponent open up his legs and get ready for that spite. I want that spite to that 16V would follow you and you just move like nothing happened. That is Mr. 16V, what he meant to me.
Hey, there's definitely a lot to say about the legend Dr. Khumalo. I mean, having been introduced to the Kaizer Chiefs senior team by Ted Dimitri, at a very, very young age of 20 years in 1987. I mean, who would have thought that he would go on and become the greatest player for me in South Africa, and not only for Kaizer Chiefs but also for Bafana Bafana. I mean, having appeared 397 times for Kaizer Chiefs and scored 207 goals. I mean, the numbers speak for themselves. I mean, as much as he did eventually leave Kaizer Chiefs to go play overseas, but for me, he will remain the greatest ever for South Africa as well as for Kaizer Chiefs, and of course for Bafana Bafana. I mean, having been admitted back in 1992, Bafana Bafana playing their first game against Cameroon, and who else other than Dr. Khumalo managed to score that 1-0 win against Cameroon. So great memories of the legend, and he continues to really shine for South Africa as well as Kaizer Chiefs. Great legend of our.
Okay, I haven't really seen Doctor play for Kaizer Chiefs, which is sad, but I've seen him dominate games through highlights, of course, for the national team. And my most vivid memory of him will always be the AFCON assist for Mark Williams. I think, yeah, that's the one game that always comes to mind when I think of Doctor. And of course, the Brazil game where he scored his goal. So it's a shame I never got to watch him play. It was mostly in pieces, but you could see the skill was there, the confidence on the ball was there. I'm not with Doctor. Like, you could just see someone who knows football. And his legendist games too. I remember seeing one at FNB versus Italy, where he was still controlling the game and playing freely. He played like he enjoys, like he played with no pressure. He enjoyed the game despite two. So he played his natural game, and I think that's what stands out for many people. That's what makes his talent so special, that he stands out and he's not afraid to play his normal game.
So yeah, let's get on to 16V. Hey, this is the guy who made me change my perception about football, or maybe it was because I was at that age where the excitement was starting, to come in. There was a game that the national team played in Zaire, if I'm not mistaken, the then Zaire, and then U16V near the center line, he nutmegged this guy. And I think it was so embarrassing for the guy, because the guy literally punched 16. Boom, came down. And most how the refereeing is when you go to Africa around those days. It was around the late 90s. So there was no yellow card, there was nothing. But the poor 16V was lying flat on his back.
16V, Dr. Khumalo. The best game for me, in fact, the battle that I always enjoyed Dr. Khumalo was him and Roger Khetumba. Each time we play against Sundowns, during the days of Roger Khetumba, I knew that was going to be a big game. Funny thing is that these two players were different. And Khetumba was a hard man, and Doctor was soft and very skillful, So I can't remember if Khetumba was in 1994, top 8 where we won 3-2. Doctor was in the second half, late in the game, and made that pass to Mike Marino. So we won 3-2 against beautiful game. One of the greatest moments when he gave that pass to Phil Masinga, going to France 1998, playing against Cameroon. That one goal that was scored by screamer by the lead. Great game, indeed. Doc is a legend. He's a legend of the game. Yeah.
Hey, yo, this is your boy Mozaro. I'm about to talk about the legendary Dr. Khumalo. Yeah, man. 16V, mdockies, Nanguyange, Mtungwa, the king of champagne passes all day, every day. You know, this guy is cool, calm and collected. Abambe isisu asithulisa sithi do. You know, you can have your Roger Fetumbas, you can have your John Muetis up in there. You know, Dr. Khumalo would mop the floor with those guys. You know, internationally, Dogotela was doing crazy, amazing things. You know, the most memorable game for me is, you know, Congo Mami. Now Mtungwa makes that wonderful interception, you know, gets it to Filmon Masinga, Scorcher. You know, Doctor has always been amazing at, you know, doing assists. Yeah, so that's what's up. Dogotela 16B. Yeah.